Yeah, it's going to be free.
You just don't say that.
We're doing it.
How many times?
It's Thunderheads with Brandon Soul, Rob Larson, Justin Wright, and the dark and stormy Jason Lewis.
Oh, man, I'm happy to be back in our favorite place podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you see we're back, reunited with this beautiful table here at Opolis Clothing.
So pretty.
Check them out, man. 1111 North Hudson Drive. They have a location in Norman, too. OpolisClothing.com. By the way, they're doing this really cool thing, just kind of a part of it, where they're taking all these coat donations. They need them. They're falling behind. People aren't bringing their coats here. They need coats, especially kids' coats, right?
Yes, children's coats, small coats. Adults' coats, not so much.
But, they'll take them.
If you can?
Yeah, if you want to donate your coat to a good cause, they're going to be used well. Plus, if you bring a coat in here to donate, when does it end? Did she say?
I don't remember that part.
Never.
Just
Never
bring
ends.
It in.
Never ends. Just bring it.
Just start bringing in loads of coats.
Yeah, just bringing in loads of coats. And, oh my God, someone from outside is just staring at us.
Yeah, it's really throwing me off because I could see him out of the corner of my eye. Like, stop. You're distracting me.
If you bring in a coat to donate, you get 15% off your entire purchase in the store. So it's a really and obviously you can see behind us if you're watching, the shirts are awesome. We're wearing the shirts.
Wearing some shirts.
They fit good.
Some
They're
hats.
comfy. They look cool. Man, they just got all the goods here. I caught Jayson rubbing his face on this table earlier.
Oh, it's so nice. I love this table. Got a splinter.
It's Justin's birthday today.
Woo! Happy birthday, bro!
People probably knew something was going on with the cake in the middle of the table. He's 28 years old today. That's right? 28?
Yeah.
Good, because those are the candles I bought. Oh,
I was hoping you weren't off by like a year.
From
here, it looks like you're 82.
I'm currently 28 Ty on Twitter. So.
Well, make a wish and blow out the damn candles so we can get this show on the road.
Get the road on the show,
How
bud.
selfish can you be? Oh my God. What did you wish?
That's a backcourt violation?
Oh, you
Nailed
better.
it.
That wish better have been good.
Also,
although it may have been
too far away.
It may have reversed on you because you missed the first blowout.
It was too far away.
Ooh, you got that reverse wish? Also, we got you a little gift.
Oh my God, they just keep coming. So many surprises early on in this show.
Which I wish I would have known before we paid for it, that we could just have them, but there it is. You got you a hat.
Do you like it?
2 hats, Justin.
Yeah. Ooh. It's a new man.
Anyhow,
another surprise.
Happy birthday.
Another surprise. We're joined by 107.7 The Franchise's Brady Trantham, although some say Trantham. I learned before the podcast.
Some can say whatever they want.
Yeah, so it just doesn't matter. I mean, you pretty much know who you're talking about. If you're talking about Brady and you pronounce it Trantham or Trantham. We're excited that you're here, man.
Oh, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fan of the show. I've listened to you guys.
You don't have to butter us up, dude.
No.
Buttering our bread.
No, I've, of course, Justin and I go back a few years. Had a few fun nights at random bars spread across the metro.
Gosh, I didn't know you were going to come out here and just spill the beans. What are we doing here?
What kind of secrets you got?
But no, it's guys, this is a well-run organization, I must say.
All right.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Man, we got good stuff today. Thunder are a little hot again.
They're back, maybe?
They back. They've been here.
I like it.
They went away for a second last week.
Well, they've been here since 2008.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's factually correct.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years.
So we will get into that. We're going to ask who's for real in the Western Conference, get into some NBA talk. So get that sounder ready there, Jason. The Thunder in the trade market, if they're looking to the trade market. We're going to give Brady a chance to take down the champ in a special game. We're not going to spoil it. Some of our listeners might know what that game is, but we're not going to spoil it just yet. But this will give you a hint. Jayson is the champ. It's the only thing he's ever been the champion of.
That is correct, actually.
Let's welcome in the YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope crowd. Happy to have you. Subscribe to the show where you can. You can do it wherever. Hit that little thumbs up icon if you do enjoy the show. You can get in touch with us at OKC Thunderheads on Twitter and Instagram. All right, you want to do the show?
Let's do it. Also, don't forget to tell your friends about us.
By the way,
you're holding on.
By the way, you can help out the show by making a donation. There's a link right below the video, and you can just click it. Anything over $15 gets you a free shirt. Special shout out to Ativ Sharma and Sydney Bateman for their contributions to the show last week.
Thank you, guys.
Man, money's going to be put to good use.
How do you think we got this cake, y'all?
Justin's finally going to be able to do his laundry.
Yes.
Been needing those quarters, man.
Shh. It's the NBA Minute.
All right, we've only had 2 games since our last show. 2 Thunder blowouts. So I wanted to kick things off with a little NBA-wide talk. We like to do this here and there. Brady, I figure you're a good guest to have on this. I'm sure you're going to get into it a little bit.
Oh, the basketball.
Love
that basketball.
The West is crazy, right?
The West is wild.
We got 14 teams that are in contention for 8 spots. Rockets are surging. What do they won? 4 in a row? They're playing tonight, I believe. Clippers, Grizzlies, they're kind of falling off a little bit, but I think Clippers are still in the top 8. I think the Grizzlies have fallen off. Utah's kind of finding their groove here and there. That's Thunder's next game, by the way. Who's for real in the West? Who's for real? Who won? Like, we should go through
The Warriors.
these standings.
I'll throw them out there. They're
Okay.
pretty good.
Let's go through the ones that we can agree on.
Yeah. So we can all say the Warriors.
Warriors. Thunder?
Yes.
Put them up there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nuggets?
Oh, yeah.
I think the Nuggets are for real.
Probably head coach of the year, Mike Malone.
Yep. At least to this point, I would agree with that.
You tossing the Lakers up there or no?
I would. LeBron James.
It's LeBron James.
The powerful
Yeah.
LeBron
He's pretty
James.
good.
Yep. I mean, just the fact that the Lakers are as good as they are already, I think this year
Yeah.
is a pretty good sign for the Lakers because you've seen when LeBron's had new teams in the past.
They've
Cavs,
taken
Heat.
longer.
Yeah, it's taken a while for those teams to get off the ground. It's pretty impressive what he's doing early on.
No, I mean, I agree. You can't really go against LeBron James.
Right.
But even, this is definitely not the Eastern Conference. This is not what he's accustomed to, trying to manufacture his way to a finals appearance. But yeah, Lakers definitely for real.
So that's the top 4 in the West right now. What about Portland? They're sitting at 18 and 13.
I think that's a fringe team, I bet, for some of
Yeah.
these. For some people
I actually thought Portland wasn't going to make it before the season. When the schedule came out, I looked at everything. I kind of evaluated Portland's season last year, and I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
I had too much of that bad taste in my mouth when New Orleans just kind of just mopped the floor with them.
Yep.
But-
And they didn't appear to get any better in the
But
offseason.
they're 18 and 13 right now. They're playing some good basketball, and good for them. They haven't played the Thunder yet because those are 4 easy wins right there.
I do wonder.
Damn it.
I do wonder. Yeah. At first, I thought Sacramento was going to be this year's Portland and be that team against the Thunder.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
But as
Amon-
far as against the Thunder goes, having their number,
Amon Shumpert didn't play though.
I wonder how much. Well, I was going to say I wonder how big of a liability Melo was last year when they played Portland because that's a really tough matchup for Melo. Although he got ejected pretty early in one of those games, and he may have even sat in one of those games. So that might just debunk my theory right then and there.
You can ask Terry Stotts.
Yeah,
What
I'm
did
not
he say
gonna do
last
that.
year? With all due respect to the other 4 guys on the court, Carmelo Anthony's not a good defender.
Did he say that?
Yeah, well, he said something like that. He said,
like it.
I believe it was the game.
Did he at least say he's a great guy?
Yeah,
He has
I
to
think he said with all
preface it at least.
I think the exact quote was with all due respect to Melo, the other 4 guys are great defenders.
And
Oh.
then he's a great
Kind of
guy.
left it there to be like.
I believe
he's not
that
good.
was the game where Melo got ejected. It was the first game in Portland
The
last
elbow, yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Is Houston's in my opinion.
They've won their last 5 actually.
James Harden's too good. Chris Paul's going to be good enough for them, in my opinion. Clint Capella's going to be good enough. Those 3, that trio, is just good enough to get them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're now 16 and 14.
Them-
Won their last 5.
Them
Yep.
and Utah are about in the same boat right now. They're starting to figure it out. Their schedules are going to get a little bit more favorable, especially Utah. But I mean, we're going to find out a lot about like where the Jazz are right now. Obviously, Saturday with the Thunder having 2 days rest and the Jazz getting off of a big win against the Warriors.
So we're at 5 teams here,
Yep.
right?
So
Denver Thunder, Warriors, Lakers,
Rockets.
So now we mentioned Portland. Are the Clippers for real?
They've lost their last 4 games.
I don't
They
think
have.
so.
I don't
think,
either.
I think Lou Will's been hurt for a bit.
Yeah, that hurts them too.
Yeah.
Like I was very glad when the Thunder were playing the Clippers last week and they didn't have Lou Williams to help them down the stretch because they made that late surge
That
against the
little
Thunder
push,
as
right.
it is. You have Lou Williams, who they struggle to defend at the end of games, oftentimes.
They just have a roster full of really solid guys. They don't have the guy to give the ball to. You can probably say Lou Williams is that guy, but he can be shut down. But when you don't have the guy or a multitude of, like the Thunder had the luxury of having Russell Westbrook and Paul George. Russell Westbrook struggling, so they have Paul George to just go score 40. You don't have that luxury. You're going to get hard pressed to win a lot of those games in December, January, and February, where you build up a lot of your playoff resume of trying to get into the postseason. So I think the Clippers, they're a good story to start off the year, but I just don't know if they can sustain it.
I kind of think that the Clippers, Mavericks, Kings, Pelicans, I think they all kind of fall into this. They're not the top of the top, and they're not quite that middle ground. They're those 4 teams that are going to be fighting for that 7-8 spot, or maybe even just the 8 spot at that point. Like,
Yeah.
They're one of those wild card teams that could sneak in and do some damage, but I'm not really expecting a whole lot of them come May.
The thing about the Pelicans is they have the best player out of the bunch.
Yeah.
They have Anthony Davis. But coming into the season, I was actually pretty high on the Pelicans, and I love the addition of Julius Randle for them. I thought the fit was awesome, and he's been pretty good there. Obviously, he's a negative defender, but offensively, he's really tough to stop. Elfrid Payton, I thought, fit in pretty well into that Rajon Rondo well.
Cut that hair off.
I know, yeah, that helped him a lot, although he's been hurt a whole lot, so it's hard to say.
Maybe that was his power source.
Samson.
Yeah.
Really quick, I'll ask you guys, as I've kind of toyed with this thought since the Thunder just last lost to the Pelicans. Let's say the Thunder get a top 3 seed. They see New Orleans in the first round. Is that about the worst matchup for the Thunder, especially if they decide to start Julius Randle? Because then you're having Jeremy Grant try to body up Julius Randle in the paint.
That does sound frightening.
It does, but it's one of those things that over a 7-game series, I think you start to like, how much can Julius Randle really mix up his game? How much can he keep you guessing and do different things to beat your defense, especially as such a good defensive team like the Thunder? I don't know. I kind of like the matchup against the Pelicans. Now, what I don't like is that Anthony Davis is on that team.
I would love to watch a 7-game series between Steven Adams and Anthony Davis. That'd be
absolutely
pretty fun.
And both the games between those two teams this year have been really fun games.
They've been great.
Played at a high level, like intense
both
games.
teams were good in them, and they had this. They both had energy, and no one was bad.
I like the conversation about good matchups, good playoff matchups, and bad ones, and we should get into that in a second. Let's round out this top 8 though.
How you feeling about the Spurs?
No. I
They're
just
out?
can't get behind them, but man, it's the Spurs.
They keep just randomly kicking people's asses.
And they're 7-3 in their last 10. They're in that 8 spot right now.
Feeling good for you in basket of balls.
All right.
Not so good for me for the head-to-head against the Sixers.
Spurs are in. Talk me into it.
Yeah,
I'm so good at this.
That's why I didn't put them with Dallas and those other teams. Just it is the Spurs. They still have Greg Popovich. They find ways to, and DeMar DeRozan I think is playing a little bit better than he was to start the season. He's kind of found his groove with a new team, so they're looking better, they're playing better, and it's just, you can't say it enough. They're the Spurs. They just find a way to get into the playoffs.
So we're at Denver, Thunder, Warriors, Lakers. Are we all putting the Blazers in there? Because I feel like I'm leaning yes.
I mean,
I would.
I feel like they're going to end up making it, and then
The division is tough, but
Yes.
the division is tough for sure. It's probably the toughest division in the NBA.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
But they've at least shown that they know how to basically manufacture wins in the division, so they're going to gobble up a lot of good wins. So
Right.
you got to think. I mean, Dame's just awesome.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's hard for me to ignore the teams that have really, really good players,
Right.
like Damian Lillard, like Anthony Davis. Now, it's tough to ignore the fact that the Pelicans are terrible on the road, though. They're 4-12 on the road. They're pretty good at home. They're terrible on the road.
yeah.
It's hard for me to deny the Jazz, man. They played 12 of their 32 games at home. Just 12. Now, they're 15-17. They haven't been very good, but that's a very low percentage of games at home. That's a good team at home.
They're also 6-6 at home, though.
That's true. Well, maybe they can't catch a rhythm at home, you know?
Yeah, I haven't been there enough.
It's like Alex Arenas on the court. He doesn't get enough shots, so he can't catch
That's
a
the
rhythm.
problem.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, the Thunder have only played 15 games at home. Well, it seems like 12 seems like a low number, but at the same time, like it's only
It's not
three.
that
It's
far
3
off,
fewer.
yeah.
Like it's not a huge discrepancy. Like it seems. Like when you look at it on paper, it seems big, but
Well,
it's not as.
I think it is in a way because like they played 12 at home and 20 on the road, where the
Right.
Thunder have played
Yeah.
15 each.
Right. That's
So.
a fair point.
That makes sense. And it does seem like for the Jazz, like it just seems like they're gonna figure it out at some, because they're pretty much the same group of guys that torched the league at the end of the season.
They're still the
last year.
same group of guys that are still reliant on a second-year player
Yep.
to be their guy.
And they're
there's-
even more reliant on him this year. would you
Yeah,
say?
and that's
he's
going to
been
be
bad.
the evolution for this team, because this is of course a team with Quinn Snyder that prides themselves on having a Spurs-like system. It's not, the Spurs weren't the Spurs because they had one guy that you just give the ball to and expect, all right, go get us 35 right now. This is a different animal. There's going to be some growing pains, but yeah, I agree with y'all. Utah is probably going to get in at some point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
They'll figure it out.
And I think it rests a lot on Rubio. Like Rubio's got to be better. Once he started,
He sucks.
once he started playing well last year, the Jazz started playing well, and that helped out. Kings, are they a year away?
They go.
I think they're a year away.
I want them in so
I do too.
bad.
They're fun.
fun.
They're
They would
fun.
be such a fun 8 seed.
I think when you watch games, which I'm sure we'll get into last night's game, when you watch a game like that and the Thunder pull away and you see the way the Kings did such a good job surging back, right? They get within 8 or 9 in that game.
Got 8, yeah.
But then they, when the Thunder decide to turn it on a little bit, the Kings kind of fall apart. The Thunder start getting alley-oop after alley-oop and just easy stuff, and I feel like the fight just isn't quite there. They're too young to learn. They don't know quite how to win yet.
Through those moments.
They're skilled enough to win games, but they don't know how to win games. Does that make sense?
No,
I think so.
That's what you saw with the Thunder in their first year and a half. I mean, of course they
Figured it out pretty quick though.
Figured it out really quick, but they had some generational talent on that roster already. But yeah, that's just something they're gonna figure out. I just want to see Warriors Kings first round. That'd be so fun.
It smells like a sweep to me though.
It would be a fun sweep.
It would be also that'd be a good lesson for the Kings, the young Kings.
I was about to say their owner could be like, oh, he's not Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a lesson in that way, and then also a lesson in like, wow, that was some good experience. We just went up against an amazing team.
26-year-old Buddy Hield now.
Yeah.
First to 160 in all of those games wins, right?
That would
That's
yeah.
correct.
That's exactly right because Warriors aren't trying that hard in that series.
Yeah.
They're just not gonna.
All
They're just
half-court shots,
gonna
and they
play
still
offense.
win.
This is a try-hard league.
Well, Brady, you mentioned it in a matchup like the Blazers being such a bad matchup, the Pelicans potentially being a bad matchup for the Thunder. What are some good matchups for the Thunder? Like, what are some teams that you would like to see?
The Suns.
In the I like it. You think they make it?
I love that. Can we campaign to get them in there?
Hey man, they're gonna go on a 50-game win streak.
Booker's
aren't they on a little win streak right now? They're like
Yeah.
two or
They've
three.
won
last
4.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Well, and
Yeah.
Devin Booker
They're
says
on one, bro.
the super team's coming to him.
Their fans are furious.
It's not. Got news for you, bud. You guys have won 6 games. They're not coming to you.
8, but wow, 8 is the real number.
Well,
That's rough.
that was close. Single digit. So what are some realistic teams that make the playoffs that are good matchups for the Thunder?
If the Grizzlies could get in,
Yep.
I feel great about that. I
Totally
don't know
agree.
if they're going to make it, though.
That's also one of those that I feel great about that I could also see
Turn
us getting to
south
that
real
point and be
quick.
like, oh, that was, nope.
If we're going to talk about the roster at complete 100% health, because that includes Andre Robertson, I think you can throw Denver in there because I think Andre Robertson really swings that matchup with his ability to defend on the perimeter. Because the Thunder have kind of figured it out with Paul George and Russell Westbrook now. They're just waiting for Russell Westbrook to get his shooting down, and it's slowly starting to come back
Is
for
it?
him. A little bit. He's at least finishing at the rim.
Sure.
Now the mid-range I don't know. It looks like he's aiming a shot. And if
It
anyone's
looks
ever
funky.
If anyone's ever played basketball, if you try to aim your shot, you will airball every single time.
Yeah, there's like a hitch in it. He's overthinking it. Like, I don't know. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It looks weird.
Hey, he got some of those 15-footers off the glass from that
Yeah,
angle
he's-
shot. He
he's
hit some of
starting to-
those last
He was
night.
3 for 3 on those.
It's-
Why not
looking
go
better.
off the backboard on your free throws in every shot you take?
Please. Yeah.
That's his shot, man, because
won't be
it
short.
gets him the arc that he needs.
What did
Yeah.
he miss 5 in a row last night?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
5 in a row.
2 for 7 overall. And again,
We're getting derailed.
we're gonna get in that. That's interesting that you say Denver because I would file that in my bad matchups because the Thunder I feel like never play well in Denver, and that's what's scary to me. And Denver is just such a good offensive team to guard, and they make the Thunder work.
Yeah.
Well, I hate saying this because the Thunder did lose to the Jazz last year, and they were a team that was reliant on a rookie. But you have to think Denver. This is new money in terms of postseason basketball, so there's going to be that kind of culture shock to how the game is officiated, how it's played.
Sure.
It slows down.
It's a fair point.
And I just think that the combined play of Russell Westbrook and Paul George, and you can throw Steven Adams in there. I think that over a 7-game series,
True.
a team that's reliant on finesse and outside shooting, because we saw Denver in that last game they beat the Thunder. They shot well in the first quarter, and then at the very end of the fourth quarter, other than that, they were terrible. They shot the Thunder back into the game, a game that they should have been blown out in.
Yeah.
So I think that's
true.
I think, and as well, if you add in Andre Robertson, I think that it can probably swing that matchup.
It was the same story in the first matchup too. Denver came out hot and then didn't shoot well the rest of the game, and the Thunder just dug too big of a hole and weren't able to overcome it. Denver's just got so many pieces that are able to contribute, and that's what makes them a little scary. But your point is correct as far as they have no experience. Jokic has never been in the playoffs. Jokic is a great player. He's never been in the playoffs. Like, can that guy deal with the physicality of the playoffs? Can he deal with the speed of the playoffs? That's a fair question. Anybody else going?
Anybody want to throw LeBron James and the Lakers in that one?
No.
He's in my
It's
bad.
LeBron James.
He's in my bad
You know?
matchups. Yep.
He's pretty good.
God, because everywhere else I feel like the Thunder match up really, really well.
Yeah.
And maybe that goes to your point about if Andre Robertson returns and is Andre Robertson is the one we know, you have multiple guys you can throw at LeBron.
Yeah.
Robertson, Paul George, Jeremy Grant. 3 guys.
Yeah, you can just
Multiple 3.
all you can do is just make it a tad difficult for him. And then, I mean, if LeBron scores 40, 45 points in the game, that's probably good for the Thunder in a hypothetical playoff matchup.
Kind of like make him beat you.
Yeah, just try to make him beat you on your own. Just basically do what what the Rockets let the Thunder do 2 years ago. Just let Russell get his 40 points, his triple-double. No one else will do anything else about it.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy thinking back to that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the
I'll bring us back. I like the Clippers. I think that's if they don't fall
Totally
off
agree.
the face of the earth, which they very well might, if they somehow just stay there this entire, I could see them Thunder sneak into a 2 seed miraculously. They could be a 7. I could see them being a 6 as well if the Thunder drop to that 3. And I don't think there's a whole lot that LA can do.
Nah.
In even a 5-game series, I don't think the Clippers would put
They
up
just
much
don't have
of a
the
fight.
star power, right?
No.
Yeah.
Just pray to God they don't play Boban.
Yeah.
I mean,
You can only play for like 4-minute stretches though. He gets so tired.
So
Both
so
are.
Lou Williams has to go off for what 50 a night for them to hang around in that.
And in a series, he'll probably go off for 1, and that's probably the one game the
Yeah,
Clippers would win. in
you
this
you,
series.
you take that 4-1 and you walk into the second round feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clippers would be in my good. Spurs would be in my good. Grizzlies would be in my good.
Mavs, if they
And despite last year,
Jazz.
yeah, Jazz. I think the Thunder still match up well with the
Well,
with the
if
Jazz.
you don't have Melo out there, just fucking ruining
It
everything.
helps a
He's
lot.
such a good person.
And listen, I was way confident heading into that Jazz series.
Oh,
which I totally shouldn't be because I was.
You were down on the
I was
team.
down on the team, but I just thought it was a really good matchup for the Thunder last year in the first round.
The Thunder had all the best players. Like, if you look at the rosters, the Thunder had the best talent.
Yeah.
But it was just, Melo was just that bad.
Utah
for this
was a
team.
good team.
he was kind of like a defensive black hole, if you would. Just kind of just
And-
I mean,
not in the good way.
he's a good guy.
And if
Great
you
guy.
if you
Great
look
guy.
at it now, I think the revenge factor means a lot to. I think it means a lot to Russell Westbrook. Obviously, I think
Almost
it means a lot
too
to.
much, maybe.
I think it means a lot to Paul George, though.
Yeah.
I think he doubled down, stays here, and I think if we were to randomly match up with the Jazz, I think he'd be like, look, I've got something to
Torches him.
prove that last year was a fluke. This is not who we are, and they're not only do they have the better talent still, because I think they do. But now they have, I think, the better team as well.
Yeah.
The way they're playing defensively,
Right.
the cohesiveness, the fact that the entire bench looks like it's having a good time while the other 5 guys are out on the floor, that's a better team. That's a much better matchup this year compared to last year if you put the Jazz against the Thunder in the playoffs.
I'm totally with you. And your whole, wanting revenge thing with Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
I like that.
Throw Steven Adams in there, man.
Yeah.
Like Rudy Gobert was clearly the best big man in that
Yeah.
series. And
Well, Stevie's
Steven
improved
Adams
a little
was
bit.
not good in that
A lot of
series.
bit.
Well, it's not even just about Steven. It's just the fact that Steven now has a nice backup in Nerlens Noel.
Yeah.
So
You don't have to worry. Like,
Yeah, you don't have to think, okay, we need to give him a breath, so let's throw Jeremy Grant or Patrick Patterson at the 5. It's like, that's not going to work against Rudy Gobert or Derek Favors. You're not going to win that matchup at all. But the other thing for the Jazz, I just felt like teams that end the season on such a great run and they ride that momentum and maybe a first-round, series win, I always kind of err on the side of caution going into the following year because you get a bunch of wins over teams that are tanking. You get a bunch of wins over teams that are dealing with injury, and then you're also kind of caught in your own momentum of like hot fire and rhythm, and they rode that into the first round series against the Thunder. So Portland's kind of in the same boat, but they've at least proven it year after year after year that they can win 45 plus games.
Right.
Utah's still kind of new money. They're going to figure out they're going to be a tough team, a tough get in the playoffs, but I would definitely favor the Thunder over them in a first round series.
Agreed, and I think Utah's going to be a team as the season goes on that they're going to be buyers. They're going to really try to shape that roster to be what they need it to be because I think a lot of Utah fans, they didn't like Derek Favors on that team. He's a weird fit in the modern day NBA as a starting 4. He was great against the Thunder. He was insane. He was the biggest matchup problem against the Thunder. In a weird way, he was a huge matchup problem for the Thunder, but man, if they had a guy that can stretch the floor in that position, it makes a little more sense.
Should have kept Jerebko.
Yeah, Jerebko, maybe.
I don't know.
You guys want to talk some Thunder?
Yeah, let's get off this NBA 40
Who are
minute.
NBA 40-minute.
That's our new segment name.
Last night, Thunder handled the Kings. They handled the Bulls. They get revenge on 2 teams. That felt like the win that I needed. I I don't know about you guys, but it was the Thunder we've been at this point, Justin, we've talked about this a lot. Just, God, when can we really just go all in on this team? When can we really feel good? Like, this team, they're legit. Like, we know this team's really good, but how good are they?
Right.
You know, just when you're starting to feel really good, then they drop a couple ones. You're like, well, oh, man.
And they do it in that fashion where you're like, are you good?
Right.
What happened?
And I know it's the Bulls, and I know it's the Kings, but it was the Kings on the road, and I know the Kings were missing a couple guys, but they went there and they took care of business. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, are the Thunder as good as their record is? They're 20-10, second in the West. Are they as good as their record is?
I think so.
I mean, they're the complete opposite of last year's team.
Yeah.
Well, they're 20-10 right now. What would they be last year with this schedule? Even though the schedule's been soft. And like we talked about, they've had 15 games at home, 15 games on the road, so it's been a favorable schedule. But they've done exactly what they're supposed to do, despite the fact that they've had to deal with quite a bit of injuries. I mean, you know, you talk about Russell Westbrook. He missed the first 2 games, didn't have an off season, rolled his ankle, missed 6 or 7 games. They've had to mix and match guys out of lineups here and there. They've had random ankle sprains, random like sicknesses with Alex Abrinas. They've had a lot of injuries, yet they've still played to a system. They have an identity now, and I think that's the biggest thing going forward is when it gets tough, when there's those random games Tuesday nights in the NBA where your legs are tired, you're tired, you have a system that you can look back on. We've won 30 games now doing this. Let's just go back to it. And I've seen that watching this team this year, even in games where they're getting destroyed in the first half. I don't really think they've been blown out yet. They always come back because they have an identity. And I think that's probably the most important thing in terms of team basketball is just have an identity and you know you can go to it. It's like having a play that you run a zillion times in practice. You know it in your heart. You just run it whenever nothing's going right. And that's what the Thunder can do.
Yeah, and a big part of having an identity is having discipline. And this team just appears to be so disciplined, you know. They don't and honestly, I think that all starts with Russell Westbrook in a weird way. Like, I know he's had some moments this year where he's just jacked up some terrible threes, and that's just going to happen with Russell Westbrook. But you look at last night. Dennis Schroeder's out. Raymond Felton's out. There's no backup point guard. Russell Westbrook has to step up. He has to play a good game for the Thunder to win that game. Russell Westbrook goes in there and completely controls the game. Now, I know that he didn't shoot that well, but he stayed with the same game plan for the entire duration. He was just making plays for others. He didn't get out of himself, and he hasn't done it all season, really. Like, he's veered off the path a little bit, but he's always just coming right back on it. Just coming right back on that same thing, like what he needs to be for this team. And you're seeing these stories that are being written about him that Russell Westbrook is changing his game for this team for the better. They're true. They're true, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's the thing in the past is there's been those games where he veers off the path, but then he keeps just going down it. And you're like, oh, shit.
Well, and then he's just dragging the team with him.
Yeah, and sometimes it works.
Right.
Because he's that good. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like that's the thing is like they have a structure in place. And like, this is how we want to play. Like, you do this stuff.
And if that guy buys in, everyone's buying in.
Well, this might be a little hyperbolic, but I thought there was one sequence last night in the beginning of the fourth quarter. I thought it was the best sequence that Russell Westbrook has had this year. And it really goes into what you guys are talking about, how he's buying into the system and trying to play differently, better for his team. Buddy Hield hits a 3 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. And, you know, like we said, the Kings got it back to within 8. Paul George comes back at the end of the third quarter, and the Thunder I think they were leading by 13 or 14 going into the fourth. Buddy Hield comes back down at the beginning of the fourth, hits a 3. Russell runs back down the court, and it just looked like he was going to jack up a 3 to just say, well, I can do that too. But what does he do? He calms down, he slows down, he goes off of a screen, and then he finds Nerlens Noel for an easy lob dunk. Yep. And that I think is so perfect for this team is if Russell can just we all know it. The Thunder could be down 14 and he thinks that he can get them back in one shot. It's like that's not how basketball is played. I thought that was a perfect play for this team, and it just showed because from that point on the Thunder just were like, you can go ahead and start jacking up 3 Sacramento, and we're just going to run our offense and beat you by 10, 15, 20 points.
What's funny about that is in the third quarter barrage from the Kings, Buddy Hield hit a 3, and Russ did run back down and chuck the 3.
Yes.
And then it was nice to see him be like, oh.
Wasn't there a sequence?
I'm not doing that now.
Wasn't there a sequence last night where Sacramento hit a 3, Russell came back down and actually hit one, and then Sacramento hit another 3?
Yep.
It got a little wild.
That's not the shooting contest I want to have.
Yeah, no thanks.
Personally. But, like, they're in a weird way watching that game last night. Sacramento pulled within 8 at one point, and I still felt okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference in this team. that I still felt okay. And that goes back to what you're talking about, Brady, the identity this team has established, the discipline that they have to stick to their principles. And they built up the lead. And I think if that's going to be important for this team moving forward, right, is being able to stay out in front. Don't get out to bad starts because you're probably not there yet offensively to be able to get out to bad starts. And then you just put yourself in a hole and it becomes difficult. And then you might get some more Russell Westbrook threes. And then you might get some shots you really don't want. You might not be able to go down to Steven Adams in the post as much as you like and play that way. I don't know. I was just really impressed by that win last night. It made me feel good about this team moving forward.
So last year, they were 15-15 through 30, and now they're 20-10, as you mentioned, Brady. So, yeah, that's a solid improvement from year to year, but just
that's 5 games.
The math checks out.
Yeah, no, I believe that's you have to carry the one. Just remember that.
You might have to do the math in your car out there.
God, I just got derailed. Thanks, Jayson. No, just the overall product, and speaking of Russ, just we talked a little bit earlier, kind of in our Slack group of the tweet that Hardwood Paroxysm had, Matt Moore, about he's seeing Russ, and like the eye test, Russ looks like the best version of Russ. And, of course, at face value, as a Thunder fan, you see the offensive struggles, and you're thinking, well, I don't know what the hell Russell Westbrook he's watching right now, but there's no way. But I kind of thought about it, and I kind of tried to take a step back because, obviously, offense isn't everything in this game, especially not with this team now where defense is everything. Offense is how we put enough points on the board to end up winning the game, but defense is how we really that's this team's bread and butter right now. Russ has 17 steals over the last 3 games. Before, when Russ got
like that.
over the last several years, and especially in the triple double season and all the 42 in 1 year, Russ would gamble. That's how he got his steals. He would kind of sit back in passing lanes and then pick passes off. He's still kind of doing that to a degree, but what I see more of him is being more active in passing lanes, instead of just trying to gamble, being more active with his hands. He's staying with his guy a little bit more. They are still switching quite a bunch, and that kind of sucks because their Russ becomes a liability on defense, but he's so much more active. He's not afraid to go at someone. He's not taking the plays off on the defensive end, and I think that's a big reason of what Matt's seeing. And then coupled with the assist numbers. Yeah.
It's just so startling, I think, as a Thunder fan, if you've been watching this team for years and years and years, as we all have here, this Russ is, as we alluded to a minute ago, he's playing a different game this season. Yep. It's just different. And so it's really hard to adapt to, even when you're watching it, because you're like, this is a little different. Like, he's having his moments where he's still just trying to break out of his shell and, be like, no, going back to what I do. But then he always just reels it right back in. He's making plays for others. He's running this team like that. He's taking what he says every single night, his job as a player. He's taking it literally, and he's going out there and doing it.
Yeah, it's almost the first time he's actually doing the thing he always says, where he's like, I only care about winning and all that stuff. It's like really showing itself.
Yeah, it's definitely showing itself.
I think probably the biggest thing that's helped Russell kind of realize that is just Paul George's play just elevating. I think as Thunder fans, the team, even Russell Westbrook to an extent, they're all everybody's operating in the post-Kevin Durant era where kind of what you guys were saying, like, can we get excited about this team? Because you're so used to the post-Kevin Durant era of like, okay, this is not the same team that was competing for NBA championships.
Our hearts hurt, man.
Yeah. Like,
got our hopes up a lot.
Well, Russell Westbrook, his heart isn't hurt, but he's had this idea that he has to do everything. He said it to us in practice last year where my job is to do everything. And all the beat writers, we were just like, no, not in that way. Please, not in that way. But Paul George is elevating his play. I think it helps Russell Westbrook realize that if we're going to take the steps necessary to compete for, make a deep run in the postseason, compete for an NBA championship, do all the things that we say that we want to do, I need to be a part of this team, not be the team. And I think Paul George dropping 40, helping Brooklyn is, even though they have the NBA's longest winning streak right now, 7 in a row, like randomly.
It's not random.
Winning,
they just got their hearts broken by the Thunder, by Paul George.
Winning on the road, which was their last loss, by the way. Winning on the road,
that's what I mean.
I think that went a long way in showing Russell Westbrook, okay, like we have a shot, and if we're going to take that shot, I've got to do X, Y, and Z a little bit differently. And I think over time, it's going to be interesting to see. But the best thing for Thunder fans and the team is, despite Russell Westbrook struggling and trying to learn on the fly, the Thunder are still winning.
Yeah.
They're not losing.
And to Justin's point, the dude is playing defense. He's first in the entire NBA in defensive rating. First. On an individual basis, he's number 1. He's first in defensive win shares in the entire, or defensive box plus minus, my bad, not win shares. He's probably missed too many games to be first in that. However, that's impressive, man. He's number 1. You can't ignore that. And I know that some of those stats can't be entirely accurate to analyze an individual. Like, they're not going to be the perfect stat. Like, Jokic is 5th or something on that list. A lot of it is team.
And like
it's
rebounds
the team.
kind of play a factor in some of that stuff.
Sure.
Like, well,
but it means something.
Yeah.
It means something. It shows you, and you watch it. And Justin, you mentioned the switches, but one thing you can feel confident on is when Russell Westbrook gets switched on a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dares you to throw that entry pass. And how often does that entry? I feel like he gets it 50% of the time.
So often.
He'll either get it, he'll force a bad shot,
Or foul.
Yeah. So like you gotta like your chances if Russell gets switched onto a big.
I wonder what the percentage of that fouling is. It's probably pretty high too.
30.
That's actually it. I looked it up.
Yeah, I mean,
That actually
it's an
makes me
advanced stat.
that makes me want Russ to do all the jump balls to begin games. Steven Adams should be back where Russ is, and he should he should take the ball up the floor. Let Russ take the tip because he's just going to get up as quick. We've seen
Russell get into a shoving match before it even starts.
We've seen him against
right out of
Alex
the gate.
Lynn, or we saw him against Alex Lynn a few seasons ago where he won that jump ball. Like I'd like to see it just for fun, just one game. Just let Russ take it.
What was
And
the
then
most?
Adams does his little under the legs jump dance.
I don't know that he's like
Right.
he's gotten so much better and he's so much more fluid in his offensive movement. I don't think that's in his repertoire yet.
He's got that Kiwi step down though.
He does.
That's looking good.
Oh, that's so good.
He looks, God, man, he's an animal out there. Like, he's serious too. Like, it's
Dude,
no
just-
fun. It's all
Just
business out
watching
here
him just
right now.
shove
It makes
Willie
Bill-
Cauley-Stein out of the way every time he got the ball. He would just push him a little
Oh,
and then go,
God.
yeah.
And he doesn't
I'm gonna
get
score.
like that's what's fair too, is because Steven Adams isn't going to get a lot of calls down there in the post because he is so big and strong, and it's going to be hard to evaluate when he gets fouled. And so you got to give him the benefit of the doubt too when he just gives a guy a little nudge and creates a little space.
One of those, it looked like it. I think it was his forearm, but it almost looked like he took the ball, stuck it right in Willie Cauley-Stein's
No, he
gut,
just
and
straight
moved him
shoved
away.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Willie got a tech right after that because he
Yeah.
got pissed off.
That's not a foul if it's the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not doing it. The ball's moving it. I'm just super strong.
Also, how amazing is it to have the confidence to use the ball? Be like, you're not getting this. You're not prying this from my giant hands. It's not happening.
Well, the last time those two went at it, Willie Cauley-Stein tried to push Steven Adams in an
Didn't work.
altercation, and he was the one that went
He
backwards.
pushed himself.
Yeah.
He effectively, it's like pushing a wall.
What a brick wall of a person.
Shove yourself
Just like,
away from
Wait,
the wall.
why am I moving?
What was the most impressive stat line from that Kings game? Was it Russ, 19-11, 17-6, as you mentioned, someone?
Almost a quad double.
So, yeah, 17 steals in his last 3 games. That doesn't factor into this question. 19-11, 17-6. I know his shooting percentage wasn't great. I think he was somewhere around 8 for 19, something like that. Adams, 20 and 23. 20 points, 23 rebounds, which is crazy. Or Paul George, 43, 12, 7 on 15 for 27 shooting.
Russ was 8 for 19 and 1 for 5 from 3.
Nailed it. And 2
and
for
2
7
of 7.
from
Yeah.
Well, he's disqualified, I guess.
Yep, he's
Thanks
out.
a lot.
Can I be the
Bye,
black?
Russ.
Can I believe? I'll be the black sheep and say Buddy Hield, 37 points.
Whoa, bro.
Boomer Sooner.
They lost.
The hell?
Get out. You get.
What are you doing here?
7 to 14.
Got 2.
Put him
of
in the
you
3-point
guys.
contest. Let's see it.
So of these 3, most
Yeah,
impressive.
Not Buddy Hield.
Most impressive.
I think it's Steven Adams.
It's Steven.
Wow.
It's
Really?
Steven.
I was going to go Paul.
I go a different direction here.
I like
I go
I
Paul.
like
What do you
BJ.
guys, Paul? Okay, so
But I mean, no,
But I
there's
like-
not a wrong answer.
Yeah,
here.
they're all incredible.
Oh.
And it's also awesome that they all did it at the same time.
I'll go ahead and I'll lay out my reasoning here.
Okay.
So Russ,
Lay it out.
19, 11, and 17.
Get to it.
That's a great stat line. I've seen Russ do that, and I don't want to get into like all the other NBA fans with a Russ triple double and just be like, it's boring because I've seen it before. But I have seen it before. I know Russ can do that. I know Russ is actually capable of a lot more. I'm not that impressed by that. Paul George, that was incredible, and like I really, really lean towards Paul George. But the reason why I'd stay with Steven Adams is it's one of those that we've talked about his progression this year, how much better he's gotten this year. The reason why he's never had a 20-20 game is because he wasn't capable of scoring 20 points.
Yeah.
Every time he gets the ball offensively, he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows where he's going, when he's going to do it, what the defender's going to do. The only thing
Very opportunistic.
the only thing that when he misses shots, it's because he goes up too strong expecting more contact, or he doesn't go up strong enough because the guy hits him a little bit harder. Otherwise, he is so in control and so sure of himself on the offensive end, and it's been such a big jump from the past several seasons. I think that's the most impressive because I think this puts the nail in the coffin of Steven Adams has arrived. He is
An all-star?
He is an all-star,
Yeah.
and he's exactly what we thought last year when we were saying the big four, or later in the year it was the big three and Melo was the one out. Steven Adams was the number 3 guy, and he's definitely proven it this year.
Put that camera back on me.
Does
That got me hot.
Does Steven Adams have a chance to be an all-star, you think? Brady?
I don't think so.
It's been a topic of ours here recently.
I don't think so, because you're going to be dealing with guys like Anthony
Shoes
Davis, of
untied.
course.
It's political.
Carl Anthony Towns, guys that'll get numbers. And I know they don't do Western Conference and Eastern Conference like
Well, they do.
They do. For
They
picking
do.
them.
It's just the draft is
The
different.
the draft is different. But then you're dealing with other guys that, like, even Hassan Whiteside. Steven Adams is a better center than Hassan Whiteside.
Well, that's not going to be a competition, though, because it's still 12 from each conference. Make
okay.
it.
Okay. Well, just in terms of just when you think of
Right.
an all-star center, Steven won't have games like this sporadically. He won't have like an 18-point, 20-rebound game or a 20-point, 18-rebound game. He'll be consistent, and that's what makes him so great. I think the important thing is he playing at an all-star caliber level? And he has been all year, and that's what's great for the Thunder. And it's kind of the same thing with Paul George. I don't know if he's going to win the MVP. If he keeps this up, of course he'll be in the top 3. If he keeps this up, that's tough because he's a streaky player. But if he's at this level all season and he's just in the conversation, that means the Thunder have 50-plus wins. They're a lot. Everyone's probably going to put them in the conversation of Western Conference Finals team. It's good for the Thunders, and I think that's just what they need to focus on.
Well, that's
for sure.
It's like a super good point. Is like think about the Grizzlies, like with Mike Conley. I brought him up when we were talking about Steven Adams being in the All-Star game. Like Mike Conley's been incredible the whole time he's been in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's better for the team? Is it better that he actually got an All-Star team,
Right.
or that he's so good that he should be an All-Star?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we'd prefer him just to be so good that he should probably be on the team, but maybe the position's just a little too thick.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a debate. I mean, because that's pretty clear and cut and dry. It's just like it'd be nice to be able to reward this guy.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to celebrate that guy and get him the proper.
Well, I'll ask all this. When Al Horford makes an All-Star game, do you guys get annoyed because of what Al Horford is?
No.
Because a lot of what he does, you don't want to see in an All-Star
Right.
game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of what Steven Adams does, you don't see in All-Star games.
It's not about being in the game. It's about putting it
the
on
title.
your Wikipedia
Yeah.
page or whatever
Yeah.
you want.
And it was certainly great for Steven Adams and his future contract endeavors. Of course, like I'm a former All-Star, but at some
Smash
point,
Mouth wrote a
at
song
one
about
point
it.
it becomes a popularity contest. It's political. The big thing is he plays at an all-star caliber level, and you ask anybody that has a brain that covers the NBA, follows the NBA, or plays in the NBA, even LeBron James, every time the Thunder play LeBron James, he has nothing but great things to say about Steven Adams.
Yeah.
They all think he's great.
For sure.
And they all know he's great, and that's the important thing.
Definitely, but it's also important to us. Get him in.
It's real to me.
Let's
damn
get
it.
him in there.
All right, so you get what? After Christmas Day is when All-Star voting starts, and you get like one a day up until like some point in January or something
On
like that.
each IP address?
So basically, if you're listening to us, if you know other Thunder fans, if you know people that don't know basketball, if you know a bunch of people in other countries that have no idea what the game of basketball is, whatever, get them on
Or
Twitter
if you're
and
in
have
New Zealand, have the whole damn country just
Yeah,
vote
he's
every
got,
day.
he's got Middle Earth on his
But
side.
the thing is I'm pretty sure voting has no impact on the reserves.
Yeah, but let's get him above.
let's get him a start. Let's get him a
get him in
starting
there.
job.
let's
Let's
do
get
That's the only thing we have
Okay,
control over,
because
right?
I guess I'm just,
Yeah.
but like you get 3 front court players, and you're having to compete with guys like LeBron,
Yeah, we're fine.
Durant, Davis. Man, it's gonna be really
Not
hard to
looking
beat
good.
those guys.
Anthony Davis at the 4, make it happen.
Yeah, that's why there's 7 billion people out there. I'm sure there are a lot
They
of
all
people that
listen to this damn
don't like
podcast,
LeBron
that's
and
for
Kevin Durant. So
I will say, I want to see
Get him
Steven
in.
Adams in an All-Star game just so I can see him start jacking up some threes. I want to see it in a game
Yeah.
That'd be
atmosphere.
beautiful. He would take it, too.
Just shoot that hook shot, man.
From there.
3, yeah, boom, nailed it.
He's taken 5 in his career, by the way.
If Steven Adams and Russell Westbrook were in an all-star game together, would Russ pass to anyone else?
No.
I feel like he would just make Adams still do what he does every game, go establish position down low early in the possession, like get in the paint and I'm throwing it to you.
Rebound my bricks.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot threes. You rebound them.
Okay,
That's my pass to you.
If Russ and Steven Adams are in the All-Star game together, what I want to see is a backwards pick and roll. I want to see Steven Adams with the ball, Russ set the pick and roll, be the roll man.
I want to see that in a real life game.
I was actually thinking about that when the Thunder played Denver. Steven Adams is a guy, he's a proven passer. Every time he gets an offensive rebound, he always looks back and he's looking for the guy cutting to the rim, and he always makes that pass when it's there. That's kind of the shame. That's what Jokic does. Just imagine Steven Adams at the top of the key dictating the offense. Of course, it's not going to work because Adams can't stretch the floor like Jokic can, but that's
if he could, though.
He could with his vision alone.
Yeah, he's not quite there yet as a passer. He's shown the ability here and there. We've actually been talking about it here the past few podcasts. Like, you're seeing him be a little more dedicated in the post and a little more reluctant to even give the ball up.
Yeah.
Whereas before,
which is cool.
he didn't want the ball. Yeah, he was like, no, I'll pass it out. We're going to keep running the offense with our best players, at least offensively. Now,
It's like
hey, bro, you are one of the best players offensively.
Something clicked and he was like, oh, I could just put it in? Okay.
Is Steven Adams the number 2 scoring option on this team right now?
Option? Okay, so
Russell isn't an option. He is the option because he has the ball in his hands most of the time.
Right, but I mean,
And
Paul
he
George
chooses.
is option A and Steven Adams is
Correct.
option B, so I guess technically
He's
yes.
like 1B.
when you throughout the course of a game and you're looking to get a bucket, is he number 2? That's what I'm asking here.
I'll say yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to run a play for Russell Westbrook to get a shot as much. You're going to run a play or might present a shot to him.
You're going to run a play, and then he's going to be like, nope, it's me.
It really depends on the situation because Steven Adams' other greatest value is just setting screens.
Definitely.
And
the
that's
best.
why even in some of these games the Thunder haven't hit the final shot to win a game. They've had the opportunity to hit that shot wide open. I mean, Alex Briens against New Orleans, Paul George against the Bulls in Chicago a few weeks ago. They've been wide open because Steven Adams plays a big role in that. He sets everybody up for wide open. So
Big man set big screen.
I don't know if you're going to see a situation where let's get Steven Adams like an easy bucket.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really what I was asking. I just meant, like, right now, is he this team's second best scorer? Like, that's basically all I was
I think
asking.
so.
So it's hard. Like I think we all waffled because we don't want to say that Russ is not top 2.
And I'm
Yeah,
But it's like right
totally
now.
focused on right now.
hiding-
Now.
He's hiding right behind you.
No, you're absolutely right. Russ or Steven Adams is the number. Look at how they've started some of these games.
Right.
You just start dumping the ball to Steven Adams and let him do what he can do.
Keep doing it until it stops working, and it
he-
never stops working somehow.
Yeah, and to what Brady was saying, it's not like when the playoffs roll around, do I think that Steven Adams is going to be the second best scorer on this team? No, I don't.
not.
But if he is, that's probably a pretty good thing. You know,
pretty
that's
neat.
probably a pretty good thing. All right, let's move on a little bit. Thunder reportedly have interest in Terrence Ross, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. How do you guys feel on either of those guys, number 1? And number 2, do you feel like a move is imminent with this team? Do you think something is coming? Do you think that they're so desperate to get a guy that can be a knockdown shooter in a reserve role that they are willing to give up an asset that they really value, like Terrence Ferguson, like Hamidou Diallo, which it might require to get a decent name that you can really rely on off the bench? How do you feel about that, Brady? I know you're close to the team, so it's kind of hard to speak on. You know how they run. How they run things.
Well, I'd probably say like some of the other beat writers and I the other day at practice, we were having this conversation about the Kings, and the hypothetical question is, would you trade Patrick Patterson for Zach Randolph?
No,
And
I wouldn't.
we thought about it. The
No.
biggest thing that we kind of like agreed upon is at least Zach Randolph has an identity and he can give you something. The thing with Patrick Patterson is he's struggling so bad he's giving the Thunder nothing.
Sure.
And that's about the
Almost negative.
That's the only position where a move, a trade, I could see, like I could understand the way of thinking that Presti's going. You have to get some production out of your backup power forward spot. And with Patterson being a stretch 4, and I know he's certainly capable of it. He's had a career of knocking down big time threes back in Toronto. He just hasn't done that yet.
Definitely
I don't know
not.
if he's going to be able to. I don't know what's going on, but in terms of a move, I think the Thunder are probably going to just say, we like what we have. We have to try to bring in Andre Robertson, give him a shot, see where he's at in his recovery. That 15th spot is open, buyout.
Yeah.
Buyout market.
I definitely think you want to add if you can without giving anything up, right? That's ideal. To me, I do want to try to give Patrick Patterson the benefit of the doubt to a certain extent, but it's really hard to right now.
Oh, yeah.
However, I will say that in giving him up, you give up one of your better screen setters. He's a big body that can go set a screen, and that's important for this team. He's a solid defender when it comes to defending guys in the post.
Certain people.
In the post, he can defend guys there. Now, moving his feet, he's a little slow on his feet. That's I wouldn't want to give him up for a guy that's a questionable scorer, that if he's going to give you anything, it's going to be scoring, and I don't know if you can rely on a guy like Zach Randolph. I'd rather look to the wing. That's just my opinion.
Zach Randolph sounds like a terrible idea to me.
I agree.
A Michelin man.
Yeah,
so
he's
we kind of always
the
just talk
Michelin.
to him about
Yeah.
I just don't see that.
But Terrence Ross having a career year right now.
Yeah.
Now, that could be a little fool's gold, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things people get so excited about a guy because he's having such a good year. It's well, why don't maybe we should pay attention to the rest of his career a little more than we should just this year.
Yeah. Because, he's been subpar for a lot of years.
Austin Rivers is out there.
No.
Justin's big.
No. No.
You gonna do that to me on my birthday, man?
Yeah. Hey, I can talk myself into Austin Rivers right now. I'll do it.
I don't actually think there's any argument that I could hear that would make me want Austin Rivers on this team.
Oh, I love it.
I don't think I
Not
could
even
present
from Doc
one.
himself?
That's actually worse. Bringing Doc with him is actually a worse case for me.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think the Thunder are in a good enough spot? Are they a good enough team this year? This is something me and Rob touched on the other night on the Aftershock. Are they a good enough team this year where they might be willing to lose a trade on paper as far as it pertains to the future? Saying, hey, wow, we gave up an asset, a young asset, because we're going for it this year. We're bringing in someone that's for sure going to help. Say you're bringing, I don't have a name offhand right now, but let's say Trevor Ariza would have been a guy, right? A guy like Trevor Ariza, and you give up a key piece that you're not getting back. You're giving it up just for this year. Are they good enough to go for a move like that?
I want to say yes. I think mainly the idea of shoring up your bench to where there's a guy that you can actually trust to score, other than Schroeder. I think that would be worth the move. It depends on exactly what they're giving up. You don't want to give up too much for that situation, but if you could kind of make a deal, maybe you are able to swing in a Abrinas and Patterson situation for that. Sure. But I don't know. It's kind of
my question is more about maybe a guy
Ferguson
that you really
like,
a Ferguson or a Diallo that you're God, I really hate giving up on this guy.
That really makes me not want to do anything.
But it's man, let's say it's a guy, for instance, that clearly makes this team better this year, and it clearly puts this team to a point where it's they're better. They're better today than they were yesterday. Right. However, 5 years from now, they're in a worse position.
I'm just trying to think of what type of situation the Thunder can find themselves in where that could apply. This team has proven, the whole system thing that we talked about 20 minutes ago, they've proven that they have a system that they can depend upon to win. And like it or not, I know a lot of people, every game, someone's in my mentions saying, don't play Terrence Ferguson. Don't play Terrence Ferguson.
Yeah.
Terrence Ferguson has played a big part in why this team has been so successful.
For sure.
You may not like him personally. You may not like his game because he doesn't score.
He doesn't jump off the screen.
Yeah, he doesn't jump off the screen.
Put in 14 points last night, baby.
14 shots, too.
He's played a big role this year. And even Hamidou Diallo, there have been games this year. There have been 3 or 4 games this year where the Thunder have just looked lackadaisical in the first quarter. Hamidou comes out in the second quarter, starts the second quarter, and then gets a steal or two and a layup or a fast break dunk. And then I guess we have to play basketball today. Then the Thunder come back and win.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have played huge roles. So unless someone's going to give you Bradley Beal, a player of that caliber, that is the only way I could see, okay, we'll give up some. But you also have to get Bradley Beal with the knowledge of, are you going to be here for the long term? Because the Thunder have Steven Adams, Russell Westbrook, Paul George set, And now they just picked up Billy Donovan's fifth year, and if the Thunder have the success that they think that they're going to have, they're probably going to extend him too. So I don't think they're in a we have to go for it now mode. They know that they have Paul George and Russell in their prime for the next three years.
Sure.
So maybe in year 3 they'll have that mentality, but I don't know about now. I think they like what they have.
I think it's a struggle, though, to figure out when exactly the right time is. That's the
Right.
hard
Yeah,
part, because
that's-
you don't want to wait too long and be like,
they've been bit by that a
Russ
little
is
bit in the past.
33.
It is
you
going
know?
to be interesting to see how Sam Presti reacts and acts in the second go around of, okay, like we go for it now. Like we all know what happened with, Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. And of course, a lot of that's not in Sam Presti's power or the Thunder's power. It was just Kevin Durant's decision. But it's going to be interesting to see, like 2 years down the road, if the Thunder haven't won a title yet, how does Sam Presti act then?
Definitely. It feels like, and I feel like this is something we say a lot. Did you have something, Justin?
Oh well, yeah. I was gonna say on this topic of like trading away young pieces, like your Hamidou Diallo's, like your Terrence Ferguson's. I think you almost have to wait out the storm right now, because so your biggest competition, you're looking at the NBA. Your ultimate goal is to win an NBA championship. Your ultimate goal is to have that Larry O'Brien on a random bus riding through downtown Oklahoma City.
Right here in the podcast,
Exactly.
right in the middle of the table. They said they'd do that for
Yeah,
us.
they'd lend it to us for a day.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
No money.
That'd be
Just
awesome.
free.
So like
We're
that's
that
your
good.
that's your ultimate goal. What's the biggest obstacle to that ultimate goal?
Well,
I
it's
think
getting them to agree to give us the
it's
trophy.
it's the Golden State Warriors. Like you have to, like, things are still running through the Golden State Warriors. They're the clear-cut best team in the NBA. I don't care what they could have lost all 30 games that they've played so far. I would still expect them to come out in June and be holding the championship trophy. Like that's just how good they are. It seems like it's trending towards troubled waters. It seems like so. I think you still hold out for a little bit longer, just hoping that experiment eventually blows up.
Like, it's funny because you said that, and I was just about to say something before that, and I was going there.
Okay.
Like next year seems like it might be the actual right time.
Unless KD continues his bitchisms and goes to LA
Yeah, or stays.
or stays. God damn it.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
think
no.
about it. I mean, yeah, Golden State still has to bring back Boogie, and that's going to be its own problem either for the rest of the league or maybe even for the Warriors themselves with how volatile that locker room
Please
is.
destroy everything.
But just ask yourselves, how many teams can go into a potential playoff series with Golden State and actually believe in their own hearts that we can win this series?
0.
There's probably 2.
I don't know. I think there's 0.
Houston believe. Now, I'm not saying that they're correct. I'm just saying
They got that Reggie Jackson belief. I'm a
Houston-
starter.
Houston probably believes
That was a classic ask a question expecting an answer, and I just gave the wrong one. Damn it. Anyways,
Anyways, the two of them.
all the beer.
Houston.
Houston and Oklahoma City.
I agree.
Because all that stuff you heard last year when the Thunder were making moves, getting Paul George and even Carmelo Anthony, all those things you heard last year, this is the best equipped team to take down Golden State because they had the length, they had the athleticism, they had the versatility, but last year didn't really work out in that way because Melo was such a black hole defensively. Now they do. And if Andre Robertson comes back and is 90% the defender that he was, because this is a terrible injury and he's had setback after setback, so you have no idea what type of Robertson you're going to get. If he's 90% the player that he was defensively, you've got to you have to at least like your chances, and that's all you can do in the era of Golden State is you have to like your chances. If you don't, you have no chance.
it's a conversation for another day, but 90% of Andre Robertson, I don't know that I don't move on from that if I'm the Thunder. Not because he's awesome. Andre Robertson is so
Still
amazing.
pretty damn good.
But this is the best defense in the league, numbers-wise, right now. And I wonder if you could fill in holes.
Well, that's kind of the luxury is because of his offensive deficiencies. If he comes back and he's only 90% and that's not good enough, Billy doesn't have to play him.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, definitely. I just wonder if you can maybe move some pieces around there in that moment. Obviously,
if that's-
you can't guess now, though. He's hurt. Like, there's no way you can be like,
Yeah.
he's only going to be 90%.
Hey, bud, what are you thinking? You gonna maybe only be
Yeah,
90?
what give us a percentage of what you'll be
How do
so
you
we
feel?
know how to approach
Do
the
we need to
situation.
trade you or?
Listen,
Not
and
to be-
it's definitely not an issue, not a problem, bad problem to have that that this team is the best defensive team in the entire league and Andre Robertson isn't healthy. That's a good problem. That's scary if Andre Robertson, like Brady says, comes back even just a ghost of himself. Not a ghost of himself. That's the opposite thing of what I'm looking for here. I don't know. We got a game in store.
Is it happening right now?
I think it should. What do you think? All right.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Grab your whiteboards. Hit it.
Folks, fun just walked right through your front door. It's the game show sweeping everyone off their feet. It's time for Guess That Shoe Size. I'm your host, Justin Wright, and I'm a size 10.5. For all you Aussie blokes and Sheilas, that's a size 10.
Oh.
Today's I know it's a little
So
anticlimactic.
That's just a half size
It's
smaller.
almost the same.
Today's battle is between the perpetual proponent and purveyor of people's podiatric proportions, our champion. It's Jayson.
Some say he's unbeatable.
That's right.
Who are they?
And in this corner, the Metallica memorizing model man of a media member. It's Brady.
Woo! I love when you
Yeah.
just say the first name
Yeah.
too, because that also sounds anticlimactic.
It's the franchise prodigy versus the TH legacy.
I
Let's
don't know.
go.
I don't know about that one.
No, that's true.
The rules, as always, are simple. I'll name a famous footy, and you guess the size of shoe. If you get it right, you get a point, and you're a foot closer to victory.
By the way, Brady, I think that if you win, if you take down the champ here, we're gonna retire the game, and we're gonna move on to another stupid game. So, no
That's a
pressure.
lot of pressure on me, man.
No pressure on both of you.
Well, do the listeners like this game? Because I can just on purpose.
They
I
hate
assume
it.
they love it.
I'm almost. I'm pretty sure they hate it just because of me. To be honest.
Oh, I love it.
Justin.
Probably the best thing we've ever done.
I hope someone's tuning in right now and like, what is this?
What is happening?
What are we watching?
We got this whole thing written out, and you just
Keep
you
going.
derailed
Keep
me.
going.
I'm sorry.
Back to it.
Okay, but so you guess the shoe size. But if you can't fit that slipper on our celebrity Cinderella, your opponent has a shot to run away with the tally. Are you ready? Let's go.
You
Let's
didn't even
do
give them a
it.
chance to say they're ready.
I'm ready.
It's rhetorical.
Oh, okay.
All right, first up, the stilt himself, Wilt Chamberlain.
Ooh. Where are they going to go? Closest wins. It's no Price is Right rules. Closest wins.
Do I just show you now?
Reveal your boards.
All right, go.
Show the camera, too.
Ooh.
Brady shows a 16.5. Jason shows a 14.5. Show the camera.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is-
Also, write your numbers way bigger because camera's not picking that up.
16.5.
It is 15.
So
Jason gets the point.
Jason, point. How many we got here? 7?
Champion.
I've got 7.
All right, I'm way bigger. I forgot about the audience. Sorry, guys.
So selfish when it comes
Yeah.
to guessing shoe sizes.
I'm just really trying to win, you know?
All right.
That's one zip.
Incredible beneficiary of nepotism, Austin Rivers.
Oh, former Thunderer, Austin Rivers. No?
Wait, what?
No one?
No. You mean future?
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Future. God, get those confused, huh?
Ooh, Brady's going to get this one with a guess of 13. The size is 14.
Wait,
I
we
went-
didn't announce the
went 10
guesses to
I
the
went
audio
10 and a
listeners.
half.
He did show them to the camera.
Yeah,
to
but
be
what about
honest.
the listeners?
Oh, that's a good point.
You forgot
sorry.
about some of the audience, too.
Sorry, 10.5 was Jason's guess. 14 or 13 was Brady's guess.
10.5,
It was
huh?
it was
I
a size 14.
Kind of think he's just a normal guy, you know?
Wow.
Just like me.
Well, you have to have a little bit of room in those shoes for his ego.
Hey.
Jason thinks Austin Rivers is just like him.
Well,
So good.
All
I
right,
don't want to like dog on myself like that, actually.
NFL legend and nationwide commercial funny man Peyton Manning.
Ooh, we got a 1-1 tie here. This is a big one. This is a swing one. What you guys got?
Well,
Hold
I
on.
can't show you until he does.
Brady's thinking it over. Oh my gosh, she's not sure. There it is. 13 from
All
Brady,
right.
I went
11 from
11.
Jason.
Ooh, Brady hit it on the dot. It's a 13, and Brady takes the lead.
Oh, no.
I'm
The
a,
pressure's on.
I'm a size 11. Peyton Manning's like, what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't going to work.
He's got the champ on the ropes.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm rope-a-doping him, though.
He's
Sorry.
really, going low on these shoe sizes today.
All
I think
right.
he's being nice.
Yeah? I don't know.
I'm very generous.
He's ready for this game to end or to be retired.
World record shoe size holder Jason Orlando Rodriguez Hernandez.
What?
The
The world record
largest
The,
shoe
the
size?
world record for the largest shoe size.
in what country?
It was Argentina, I believe.
So
I
this
looked
is-
it up
so
Do
last
they
night.
have big feet?
So this is meters, right?
Oh.
It's in
How
America.
many meters is this?
It is in the standard American shoe size that we all know.
And the guesses. Reveal your boards. 19 from Brady, 21.
Pretty close.
This is not even close. Can I
Ooh.
throw in a guess?
Yeah.
29.
You're going to be the closest. It is a 26. So
Wow.
Jason,
Ball game.
Tied
2
up.
to 2.
2-2. 26 is the world record. Didn't Shaq like a 21 or something like
It's-
that? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's up there.
Shaq's 21?
Yeah.
Damn.
We
I
actually
wasn't
had
even
Shaq
Yeah.
on the last one.
On the
We had him
debut,
on
I
the
think.
podcast?
God bless his wife.
All right.
Comes out to his knees.
They're actually celibate.
Moving
You gotta
on.
be.
Moving on. Former Major League Baseball star and birthday boy David Wright,
Oh, I thought you were going to say Justin, right?
David Wright.
third baseman
did he play for?
the New York Mets.
It's going to
That's
factor
gonna
in Jason's
Was his feet big? No.
cleats. These are cleat sizes, by the way.
I'll go again.
And Brady's at 13. Jason's at
Back to
11.
Jason's going to take this one. It's an 11 and a half.
He's in front 3-2.
3 to 2.
With a correct answer here, Jason gets the win and
the
remains
game
unbeaten.
continues.
Oh no.
What happens if we tie?
By the way, Jason's never been as good at anything in his life
No,
except
no.
this.
So Jason's he's a foot guy.
Yeah, maybe.
You shouldn't look at my porn collection.
Him,
Pretty weird.
him and Rex Ryan gonna go get beers after this.
I like the idea that you just still have a porn collection too in
Of
2018.
magazines?
Yeah, just VHSs.
He's got to get his tape cleaner out.
Yeah. You gotta, you know,
Bruh,
you gotta rewind them every time. Why?
All right. First Lady Michelle Obama.
Oh.
Now remember that
Don't know a
women's.
damn thing about women's
So
shoes. No offense.
So let's, for example, I'll use a really ridiculous example. If a woman had a shoe size 52, it would be a 50 in men's.
Oh.
So
Okay.
there's the
Okay,
there's
So
the drop
they're giving
two
the
rule.
women's size here, though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have the women's size.
All right.
That's what I expect the women's
So
size.
if you guess 12, it's not an insult. Is what he's saying.
6.
Going 7.
Oh wow.
so that would be a 4 and a 5.
No.
Math checks out.
Okay, she's an 11 and a half.
Wow.
Victory!
Jason did it.
I wish the guesses actually warranted the victory.
No, it doesn't. I just prices right everybody. That's my game.
Oh,
All
I
right.
didn't think it was going to work with the marker board.
you know, Brady,
It
it's
was a good
tough.
try.
It's tough taking down the champ.
Hey,
It's 3 to-
I made him sweat. That's all. That's
You
all.
did.
Oh, no,
You had the
put
lead for a
pressure on.
moment. God, but he rises to the challenge, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's what I do.
We're just proud of him.
I'm not a foot guy. I'm not a foot
You-
guy.
Yeah.
You ready for my terrible sign off?
Yeah.
Oh, do
Wait,
we
no,
keep
we're not
the
there
music
yet.
Going?
Or this. No, yeah.
For my game.
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Got the music back.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have. Congratulations to our winner, Jason. Thanks for watching, and remember, always put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. God, you do such a good job at that, Justin.
I
It's incredible.
hate that.
Let's hit some questions. Let's finish this thing off. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Social media inquiries.
Oh, sweet of you.
What we got?
Thanks, Brady.
We had a lot
It's your
of
birthday,
questions today.
bud. Happy birthday again.
Octoon's
So proud of you.
Didn't even eat your cake, but, you know.
Well,
Take it
I haven't
home.
had a chance yet.
The two fella.
From Nick Eccles at Neckles87. For your Twitter questions, who is more annoying to the Thunder fans? Michael Cage or Patrick Patterson?
You don't have to speak on this, Brady. We will.
I'll go a solid Michael Cage.
Yeah, man, this is tough.
It is hard.
This is tough.
I mean, Pat
You know what? You know
isn't
what?
helping himself.
You know what Michael Cage said the other night? He said, "Man, I gotta tell you, I'm running out of accolades for Steven Adams. That's not." Number one, you said accolades incorrectly, and then number two, you didn't use the word correctly.
Yeah.
He means well. He's a great man. He's such
Great
a
guy.
nice man.
He's definitely in the Great Guy Hall of Fame.
I feel like they put him in a tough position this year too. Like he had to step up. You know?
don't want him being the guy that has to step up vocally.
Really quick, have you guys ever watched a Rockets game with their
Yes.
commentators?
Is it bad?
Oh, it's
If anyone thinks that the Thunder are bad,
Yeah, it's
and
bad.
Everyone needs to remember these
There's
guys
some bad
are,
ones.
These guys are paid by the team.
Yeah.
Just watch a Rockets game with their commentators and get back to me.
Aren't they super homers?
I don't even.
They,
oh yeah.
They
oh,
are.
Yeah. They're like probably the worst, and I would probably put them up there.
They
Well-
cheer.
Yeah. Well,
They're
did
like
you
clapping.
guys see what happened in the Celtics broadcast last night?
Huh.
Those guys,
Brian Scalabrine. So
The legend.
Kyrie Irving goes like
Kyle
went to the
Irving.
floor.
Kyler Murray.
Went to the floor with another Suns player, and the Suns player stayed on the ground, was hurt, injured, and Kyrie Irving was down, got up slowly, and then the play-by-play guy said something about the Suns player getting down, and then Scalabrine comes in and said, "Oh, well, I don't care as long as Kyrie's up, I'm good."
Oh God.
Not a good look.
Probably not what you want.
Not what you want to do there. Yeah, I mean, come on.
So does Pat annoy you more than Michael Cage, would you say? I feel like he doesn't put himself in the
Who was this
position
between? It was Michael Cage.
Mike Cage and Patrick Patterson.
because I feel like Pat doesn't put himself in the
I'm going Cage.
yeah.
I'm going Cage.
Because Cage is just there the whole game, and then Pat's like takes one shot, and he's like, "Well, yeah, still can't do it."
I love when Patrick looks at his hands after he drops a ball or like makes a bad pass. He looks at his hands like the kid from Little Giants, like, "Dude, I keep you warm. What are you doing?" As if it's their fault that he can't catch.
Next.
You know, if Patrick Patterson was putting up 30 shots a game, then it would be Patterson.
It'd be
but
very
yeah,
annoying.
It's, yeah.
It's kind of us.
How many shots a game does Cage put up?
What, in the church league?
No.
Partner?
Just like in
Patrick Patterson.
vocally?
Yeah.
Patrick Patterson never had a Jerry curl, so
He wins that though.
Yeah, no, that's a good. That's
a
his
good
one good thing
yeah.
he's done. And he was a rebounding champion, as we all know.
Played in the NBA.
Yeah, he was in the NBA. I don't know if you knew that. Also has a church league. Also, the Nets were cotton when he was a player. So we all know those things, I think.
From Raj Patel at RP_1298. One thing that I noticed at the end of the Kings game was Westbrook's passing was on point as it's been the last couple of games. Do you see a transition in him starting to become more of a pass-first point guard? And is this what the team needs?
I do see that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that Westbrook's always going to get his shots up because it's easy for him to get his shots up. Plus, he likes to shoot the ball. But yeah, like he's really wants to be that playmaker. You've seen that transition since the 2015-16 season when Billy Donovan stepped in and they put the ball in Russ's hands more primarily. Right. And they said, hey, you are the playmaker. And since then, he's averaged over 10 assists a game every single season. So yeah, and I think he enjoys that aspect of the game. He said last night, I think in the post-game interviews that's his favorite part of the game. That's what he loves about the game the most, is setting up another guy.
Man, there was a point where Russ had a classic alley-oop to Steven Adams. It looked like it was in traffic. Like Steven Adams looked like he had to out-jump guys and just somehow pulled it down and dunked it. And then they showed the replay, and it wasn't as close as it looked. It was Russ literally put it in a place where only Steven Adams could catch it. And it was one of those things, like, I had to, like, take the step back and, like, look at that play again. I was just like, oh, no, that's just how, like, Steven Adams is great, sure, but that pass was all Russ. That entire play was all on Russ.
We began to take it a little for granted, I think, right? Mm-hmm. That's how good he is.
I think probably the biggest thing for Russ is just understanding the natural flow of a basketball game, because there are a few players that can actually dictate the pace and the flow of a game, and Russell's one of those guys, but just like that sequence I mentioned earlier where Buddy Hield hits a three in the fourth quarter, and then instead of jacking up a three in his own right, he calms down, rolls around a screen, and then finds Nerlens Noel for an easy lob dunk, and it just kind of just negates the momentum that Sacramento is trying to build up in order to come back. If he's able to understand the natural flow of a game and play to it, that's going to be great for the Thunder, because we all know that Russell can win you a game on some trash three running with like three guys on him. He banks it in. He's that type of guy. But winning like game after game after game and then playoff series, he has to understand and play to the natural flow of a game.
Agreed.
From Ben Burke 10 at Ben _ Burke, from Ben Burke at Ben _ Burke 10. He does not have a 10 in his name. It's in his Twitter handle.
Well,
it's in his name. It's a weird given name.
I think it's legal.
Is PG shooting from three the best we've ever seen from a Thunder player?
Ooh. Puts us on the spot here.
I did not look up numbers for this because I just heard it just now.
I think when you consider the volume that he takes them at, it might be. It really might be.
And also, he's the smoothest Thunder player.
Oh my God, it's
my
beautiful.
God, he's smooth as eggs.
Now, KD had a 50-40-90 season here in Oklahoma City, but I don't know. PG, that's a big part of PG's game. That's probably his biggest strength.
This is such a shame. This franchise has had 3-point champion Daquan Cook in it, and people have already forgotten it.
Yeah,
This is such a shame.
Because Paul George, not a 3-point contest champion.
One of the
Probably
best.
the worst 3-point contest contestant.
No, like in 15 or 20 years, SB Nation's going to put out like the worst 3-point contestant ever, and it's going to be Paul George.
Yeah.
That was. Oof. He's not going to go back this year, is he?
No.
Please don't.
No.
I-
Jeremy Grant's going.
Yeah.
In this place.
I like it.
And he's just going to say, can I just shoot from the corner?
Yeah.
No, I'll just stay here.
And
It's cool.
can you have Russell pass it to me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
just
I
minus-
need somebody to close out on me. Thank you so much.
But start in the paint.
It's like if we can do stuff like that in the dunk contest, then let's set up some scenarios for the 3-point contest.
I like it.
I would like to see it'd be nice if you could have your point guard out there like feeding you passes the entire time. Stop calling me. You're making my screens go away. It's weird.
Next.
From Cole Rogers Payne at Cole Payne 120. Should the Thunder go after Buddy?
Cold Payne?
For
Cole Rogers Payne.
Oh,
Cole.
Cole Payne.
Campaign's
Payne.
burner account.
What's going on?
Should the Thunder go after Buddy? Absolutely they should, but I don't know if they're going to be successful.
Yeah, especially when their owner thinks he's the god of basketball.
I've been saying for a while, man, I don't know if there's another role player out there that is a better fit than Buddy Hield on the Thunder, man. That would be
Oh, God,
ideal
it'd be
for the
awesome.
Thunder.
You all do know that if some way Buddy Hield came to the Thunder, he would not shoot as good as he's.
Yeah, of
yes,
course.
he has. He
Probably
would drop,
not.
He would
Course
drop
not.
like a rock.
However, Buddy Hield, man, that
I don't
boy
wish
can
that on
shoot.
him.
He can shoot the ball.
So
From
follow
two guys who went to OU, probably.
Oklahomans.
follow up though, from the same guy. Buddy or Andre Robertson?
I had to include this because it was so. This is tough,
Yeah.
actually.
Andre's elite. Buddy is not elite at anything yet.
No.
However, you have to consider what they're providing and who they're providing it to, I think. And that's why it makes the question valid.
Yeah.
Because Buddy's providing the biggest weakness on the team.
Yeah.
Andre Robertson's providing what is the strength of the team. Now, you can make a case that that's more important.
Just
Add to that strength.
thinking about how fierce this defense is with a fully healthy Andre Robertson, it's frightening.
It is kind of important to remember that Buddy is able to play like this because of the team that he has around him.
Yeah.
You can't just put Buddy Hield on the Thunder and expect him to shoot at the same clip because he's going to get a lot more attention than he can get playing for the Kings because the defenders have to worry about De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield. They just got so much young talent running up the floor. Amon Shumpert didn't play.
But counter, you also have Steven Adams, Russell Westbrook, Paul George. I mean, so
No, it's
pretty nice.
It's a really good question,
Yeah.
and you can go either way on it. The way that I look at it is, can somebody give you something that's elite out of the two? And Andre Robertson has at least proven that he can. Now, if he comes back and is not the same player, okay, I'll go all in on Buddy.
I think that's the only reason this question is probably valid because that in itself is a question. Can Robertson come back and be that guy? I'm sick of talking about that too, and it's no one's fault. But I'm just, I'm ready.
quit
I'm
it,
ready to
y'all.
see. I'm ready for him to be back, man. I'm ready to see him on
It's
the court.
Andre's fault. He got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop doing that.
Come back or don't.
It's the
But
Pistons'
do.
fault
Please
because
do.
it happened on their floor. So I
sons of
blame
bitches.
Reggie Jackson.
Oh, Reggie.
I blame him
like
for quite
that.
a bit. I like how he's
Let's
come
blame
up a couple
Reggie
times
for it all.
Because he's
From Aaron at @Yunt_15. Seems crazy to even ask, but
probably crazy.
is Russ a Defensive Player of the Year candidate?
I say no.
Probably not.
I say
No,
no
because he's got a teammate that's that could win it.
that should be above him.
You know,
he's got
say-
a couple of teammates that are going to be ahead of him.
Say what you want about
Three.
the MVP for Paul George, but Paul George is like it's him, Kawhi Leonard, in most years when they're healthy,
Should be about it. With all of them.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Russ is gonna get the box score defense of defensive numbers, but everybody knows Paul George is who you have to scheme around defensively.
Which is funny because the box score guys were always the argument why Andre Robertson should but won't win Defensive
Right.
Player of the Year for the last several, like
Now,
especially
all of a
last
sudden,
year.
They're like, well, no.
Yeah, I was like, well,
him-
Andre Robertson can't fill the box score. Well, obviously he got hurt, but he can't fill the box score, so he's not going to get that attention for Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, him having to play 3 when he's a 2 or 2 when he's a 3, that kind of affects because the first team all defense. That always kind of has an effect on it.
Yeah.
I also think narratives play a factor too, and just the fact that
Yeah.
reputations, not just
Yeah.
narratives, reputations, and Russ has a reputation of taking
Being a gambler.
Yeah, being a gambler, taking possessions off defensively, not being super disciplined, and Paul George has the exact opposite.
I hate narratives.
reputation.
I
of
can't
it.
read.
From Alan Castro at FCB_14_Aussie. What is the definitive last addition that this team needs to go all the way to the finals?
Whoa.
Man, I still
LeBron James.
Yeah, get LeBron, and you're good.
Lebron.
To me, I still think that if you can get a legit guy that can score the ball off the bench, you're in good shape. I don't know if you can get to the finals, but I think that's what you got to get.
Brady Manic. I just wanted Justin to smile. No, I think if you're going to shoot for the stars, I said it earlier, a player like Bradley Beal, just a complete difference maker at the 2-guard position, a guy that can handle the ball. But then you're going to get into the problem of, okay, well, now you're going to have to go through a year of Russell and Paul trying to figure out, okay, when does he get his? When do I get mine? When does he get his? And this team does not have enough time to go through another season like that. So you're just going to have to try and depend on Diallo, even Deontay Burton and Terrence Ferguson trying to make those next steps.
And if you're talking about this year, you're probably going to need an injury to the Warriors.
Or 2 or 3.
And you'll need a solid pickup without giving someone up, I think. And, when you talk about the Bradley Beal conversation, no one's talking about trading Adams for Bradley Beal now. No one's doing that now.
That suddenly went away.
Yeah. Big surprise.
From Kerry Cicero at Cis66. When he was drafted, what were your expectations for Steven Adams? I hated the pick back in the day, but might be Presti's best value pick ever.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think part of it, so that pick, I think, kind of left this weird taste in Thunder fans' mouths because it was via the Harden trade.
No, right.
Like that's how it. So I think it was just like that aftermath of James Harden, and that was our pick because of it.
And it was so not splashy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you didn't really know what he was. Like it was just like, well,
who's
here's
this
this
guy?
kid from New Zealand, and
Just a big guy?
yeah,
he played
What's he do?
he played the 1 year at Pitt. Relatively unknown. It seemed like he was kind of drafted a little bit high, although I did have a friend that was like really high on him, and he was absolutely right. He predicted.
Kudos to that
he
guy.
He said exactly what would happen, only it happened much better than he could have. Anyways, you don't know what you're gonna get with a guy like that.
Yeah.
You have absolutely no clue. Hell, did we have any idea last season that he was gonna do this offensively this year?
no.
I mean, we had an idea that he would continue to get better because that's all he's ever done in his career, but not to this level.
Definitely. And I think the Thunder do a good job of just investing in people.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of their philosophy in drafting guys.
Who he is fits so incredibly well with the culture of this team, with the culture of the city and the state and this part of the country. It just fits in so incredibly well.
Like a
it's
glove,
a match made in heaven.
You
Yeah.
could say.
No, we can't use that. Seattle still owns the rights. So
Like
we can't.
Like a
yeah.
well-fitting
Who's
jacket.
the most average NBA center? Like, just when you think of NBA center and
Who's just the
What-
most average?
average?
like Robin Lopez, is he an average NBA center?
That's a good one.
Looks
That's
like
a good one.
caveman.
Imagine this team in the last 3 years with Robin Lopez as their center.
God. No.
Yeah.
Where's the growth? Where's the evolution of this team? Steven Adams is a cornerstone.
And Robin Lopez's facial hair. That's where it is.
Yeah, he looks like Sideshow Bob. It's awesome.
He
does.
It's funny.
definitely looks
Makes
like
me laugh. I like it.
From kind of happy Thunder fan. Just
kind
kinda
of happy. He's not
But
quite there.
it's definitely trending upwards. At KVNG__J.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I like to give their Twitter
Yeah, too
handle
many
the
underscores to
proper
get that,
thing.
Okay.
Will this Thunder team be the most complete team they ever had when Robertson comes back?
That's hard to.
Complete, I mean, on
They're the-
paper they might be.
They're the worst three-point shooting team in the league. They're the worst effective field goal percentage team in the league.
free throws.
They're the
Oh,
one of the
so
worst free
bad
throw
at
shooting.
free throws.
Complete is relative to what you're looking for, I guess.
Right.
Complete defensively,
Which,
yeah.
which I think
Yeah.
now is less holes as far as on the roster maybe that they're talking about, because the Thunder, even in years past when they've been really good, haven't been deep,
Yeah.
and now they have a
They
potential
at
to
least
be
have
deep.
some options.
And I hate piling on Patrick so much.
But damn, he's been really bad,
but
though.
is Patrick the only guy in the 8-9 guy rotation that Billy can throw out there and just he can depend on everybody to bring something to that game every single night? Like Diallo was 0 for 4 last night, but he got 3 or 4 really big rebounds, like contested.
Yeah.
Gave the Thunder extra possessions that way. Patrick is about the only guy that Billy throws out there that he just doesn't know what he's going to get. And I think that that's incredibly important for
And a
any
lot of-
roster, any rotation is,
Well,
you know, I can throw 8 or 9 guys out there and I know for certain that he's going to give me this, he's going to give me that. And if that happens, you're going to succeed and win a lot of games because it goes into the identity argument.
And most teams don't have that luxury either. And the Thunder are so close to having that luxury, and that's what makes it kind of frustrating, is because, God, you're like right there. Like Patterson, if you were just the guy that we thought you were, makes a world of difference. Abrinas you could maybe throw in there because of his inconsistency, and he's so one-dimensional, but
He still stretches the floor and
Sure.
like defenders are not going to leave him open on purpose,
Right.
even if he's 0 for 20.
Ooh, that'd be rough.
And bringing it home from Wham Bam Dr. Clam at Michael Clampett. With Adams' improvement in the post, Ferg establishing himself as a good to very good defender, and Grant becoming PG a la 2013, are we watching the most balanced OKC starting lineup of all time?
This is the same question?
Well, this is starting lineup.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is about the start.
Starting lineup, man. That 2016 starting lineup. Russ, Dre.
It seems like he's talking about scoring a little bit, is he?
Russ, Dre, KD, Serge, Steven. That
was nice.
I don't know if you're ever. I don't know if you're gonna beat that even with this roster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's close.
Because KD he's better than Paul George. Russell Westbrook is a better player than he was in 2016. Steven Adams is a better player than he was in 2016. Jeremy Grant, Serge Ibaka. I think Jeremy Grant is more assertive,
And he can dribble. That's pretty neat.
and he doesn't foul three-point shooters.
Yeah,
Yet.
I actually think
Yet.
Jeremy Grant's probably the better defender
Yeah.
at that point in their careers right now. Serge Ibaka, in his day, was an amazing defender.
Serge Ibaka is a game changer. Back then, he was a game changer defensively, but on a consistency level, he would leave you wanting more.
Well, I think
Yeah.
at that point, too, he had started to become maybe more of an offensive player,
Yeah.
even at that point in his career.
That was that weird spot.
I still lean towards you with 2016. The reason why it's really close for me is just if this offense gets a little bit more consistent, these starters, mainly what it boils down to is Russ gets out of a shooting slump and starts to score at a higher level, then I think it's 2018. But right now what we've seen, and that's the thing, is that right now when we've seen an inconsistent scoring Russ, because of the defensive abilities of this team, I kind of lean towards this team right now, even with Kevin Durant on that team.
Yeah, I think you can make the case for either team. I really do.
Yeah.
I also might just be like, you get caught up in the moment.
Yeah,
sure.
You finally you really, really, really like the team that you're watching for the
Really?
Well, look how
and
good
what
Paul
feels-
George. Look
yeah.
how good he's playing, man. And can we expect that all season long? That was something
Yes.
that I figured we were going to get into today, and we didn't. However, man, he's off the charts right now. He's the best he's ever been in his entire career, and he's
So good.
just so good right now. But he's had a history of being inconsistent, so we need to see it for
Right.
all season long, and then we can really start having that debate. All right,
Do some notes?
no time.
No notes?
No time for notes. We went way long today, I
good.
believe.
But hey, everybody, it's Justin Wright's birthday.
Woo!
Woo! Happy birthday, JuJu!
Do you have
Yay.
Mr. Rogers' son?
No.
Oh. All right, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Opolis Clothing for the threads. Come check them out. You got to come check this place out, man. Oklahoma City location, Norman location, opolisclothing.com. They also do custom printing.
Yeah.
They do all that stuff.
Don't forget about the coats. Bring in the coats.
Yeah, bring in the
For
coats.
15% off your whole purchase.
Everyone has coats they don't wear.
Yeah. Bring them in here. Throw them in the box.
Go to your mom's house. Steal those coats that you know she's not
Steal
wearing.
other people's coats and
Yeah.
give them away to
You can do that.
people who need them.
New or slightly used though.
Don't steal coats from other donation bins.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
At that point, what are you doing?
God, pretty good strategy if you're looking for a sweet
15%
discount.
off,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're like, this is
Who
easy.
knows? Maybe
I'm
do
not
it.
taking it
Maybe
from
do
anyone.
it. Maybe do it.
This might be a good
It's
idea.
still going to the same place, right? And I get a little 15% bump.
Thanks to Scissors and Scotch of Oklahoma City. Go get your cut there, man. Have a drink. Check
Going
out
tomorrow.
Are you?
Yep.
All right. Send us pics. Will you post an Instagram
Just-
from the OKC
just
Thunder?
A gram.
Yeah,
Just
Graham.
send us text message pictures of you getting a haircut.
Chris
Please
Paul.
don't do that.
It'll be some time. MRI tomorrow on the hamstring.
Oh, also they lost tonight, so that's fun.
Tastes good. That's how I like to finish my meal right
Yep.
there. Yeah, go check out some of Scissors and Scotch whiskey tastings. They do those if you're a whiskey person. They have awesome stuff out there, man. Support them. Thanks to Brady Trantham of the franchise. Check out his stuff. You do a podcast, the OKC 82 podcast. That's correct?
Yes, sir.
After every single game, right?
Yes. Very late in the evening.
Yeah, we do the same thing.
Yeah, you guys are usually out before we are. It's
It's-
awesome.
Yeah,
It's
so-
awesome.
It's a grind.
Just try to
but-
get out before the dream team, and then
Yeah, and then we're all good.
that's my goal.
Yeah, so check him out. Follow him over at Brady Does Sports. He's doing sports all the time. Next
Sexy.
next full show is our Christmas Eve spectacular.
Ooh,
Christmas
it's gonna be
Eve.
spectacular.
I believe it's just us three.
Yeah. Gonna Gonna have some eggnog for him probably.
Yeah, I'll have some eggnog.
Not
You gonna have
for
some
me,
eggnog?
because that's
Yeah, I'll have
gross.
some, as long as there's whiskey in it.
Yeah, we're putting whiskey in that bad boy.
I'll just have
Let's
something
go.
else.
Probably some mimosas, some snacks.
Ooh.
No fair.
Love snacks.
I will be on the way to Houston. Y'all have fun.
Mm.
I'm jealous.
That doesn't sound as fun.
We can call you in. So ditch your family. Come hang out with us on Christmas Eve morning. Back to back this weekend, guys. Saturday at Utah.
Utah, yeah.
At Utah, 1-0 against Utah this year. There's an aftershock after that game. Sunday against the Timberwolves at home. We will catch you guys Monday morning. Happy birthday to Justin, and get us out of here. Why not?
You said that you would treat me right, but you were just a waste of time.
Thunder up.